Nate Silver, The Signal and the Noise, Why So Many Predictions Fail But Some Don't. Predictions are a crucial part of our daily lives, from deciding whether to bring an umbrella to work to making critical decisions on the economy. Yet, many predictions fail to come true. In The Signal and the Noise, Why So Many Predictions Fail But Some Don't, author Nate Silver investigates the factors that contribute to the success or failure of predictions in various realms, such as economics, climate change, and terrorism. The book explores the challenges faced when making forecasts and offers potential solutions for making more accurate predictions. Readers will discover the importance of approaching complex problems with an open mind, avoiding over-reliance on any singular prediction, and embracing the Bayesian approach to probability estimation.
False sense of precision. Economists' inaccurate predictions and overestimated certainty. In our daily lives, we rely on predictions to make decisions about the future. The same is true for economists who make predictions in the public realm, such as stock market analysts, meteorologists, and sports commentators. Despite having access to a wealth of data, economists have a poor track record in forecasting. For instance, the gross domestic product, GDP, predictions given by economists are often inaccurate and misleading because they provide a false sense of precision without considering prediction intervals. According to a poll of professional forecasters, economists' predictions are wrong roughly half the time, suggesting that they overestimate the certainty of their predictions. Furthermore, when it comes to forecasting depressions, economists have been able to predict only 2 out of the 60 that had occurred worldwide in the 1990s. Therefore, it is necessary to take economic predictions with a grain of salt and be cautious when interpreting them. The complexities of economic predictions. Economic prediction is difficult due to the high number of interrelated factors that influence it. Causal relationships between economic factors can be hard to determine, and feedback loops make predictions even more complicated. External factors can also distort economic indicators like rising house prices. Predictions themselves can influence the economy since people and businesses adjust their behavior. The global economy is constantly evolving, rendering tried-and-true theories obsolete. Additionally, data sources are unreliable, often requiring constant revision. Thus, it's challenging to make accurate predictions in the ever-changing economic landscape. The perils of coincidental correlations. The book highlights the potential pitfalls of relying on a purely statistical approach in economics. The author uses an example of the correlation between the winner of the Super Bowl and stock market gains/losses to illustrate how a coincidence can be mistaken for causality. With the vast amount of data being tracked, it is vital to have a human analyst who can interpret the data and determine plausible causality. The author warns against the belief that more information and economic variables lead to more accurate predictions, arguing that it only increases useless noise and makes it harder to spot useful signals. Forecasting failures. The financial crisis of 2008 could have been avoided had everyone paid attention to historical trends and questioned the meteoric rise of U.S. house prices that led to the housing bubble. Lenders, brokers, and rating agencies relied on optimistic beliefs about the market and ignored the possibility of a crash, resulting in disastrous consequences. Additionally, rating agencies neglected the possibility of a large-scale housing crash while relying on statistical models to rate risky financial instruments called collateralized debt obligations, CDOs, leading to a significant default of CDOs. The failure to learn from past events and question market trends led to significant losses and damage to the economy. Predictive failures in the financial crisis. The financial crisis of 2008 was caused by several forecasting failures. American financial institutions leveraged themselves excessively with debt to make more investments, leading to a collapse in the market. The U.S. government's economic team crafted a stimulus package for a regular recession where employment figures would have bounced back in 1 to 2 years. This was a predictive failure, as history shows that recessions caused by a financial crash usually make unemployment rates stay high for 4 to 6 years. In the end, the stimulus package was inadequate. In conclusion, this article highlights the third and fourth forecasting failures that contributed to the financial crisis and endorses ways to overcome such difficulties. Bayesian approach for rational belief updates. This summary discusses how the Bayesian approach can aid in estimating probabilities using a mathematical framework for updating beliefs based on new information. Using breast cancer prediction as an example, the article emphasizes the need to avoid biases and consider prior probabilities, false positives, and true positives. The Bayes theorem can help individuals update their beliefs in a rational way that avoids inherent biases and takes into account all relevant information. The Art of Prediction. This book delves into the world of prediction making and highlights the key differences between two types of people who make predictions: hedgehogs and foxes. Hedgehogs are those who confidently believe in one big idea or fact, while foxes are more cautious and open to considering various perspectives and empirical evidence. Philip Tetlock's research shows that foxes have a much higher success rate in making accurate predictions. While hedgehogs' predictions may attract more media attention, their success rate is only marginally better than that made at random. The book emphasizes the importance of incorporating multiple perspectives and empirical data to make accurate predictions and how this can be applied in notoriously hard-to-predict areas. The Elusive Art of Beating the Stock Market. Can individuals or institutions beat the stock market? The stock market is known to be efficient, making it challenging to earn returns consistently. Insider trading is the only way to guarantee returns, but it's illegal. Members of Congress generally surpass the market returns by 5 to 10% annually, thanks to their access to insider information. The stock market bubble, predicting and understanding it. The stock market is usually efficient, but when bubbles form and stocks are overvalued, there are telltale signs to look for. A sharp increase in stock prices and high P/E ratios suggest a bubble is forming. However, institutional investors often keep buying and reaping bonuses even when they spot a bubble, as they are not using their own money. This results in huge losses for their company and clients when the market crashes. Despite this, only 20% of staff lost their jobs after the last 3 major crashes on Wall Street. The power of simple models. Climate models that focus solely on CO2 levels in the atmosphere are more accurate predictors of temperature development than complex multi-factor models. The greenhouse effect is a well-established physical phenomenon, and simple models from the 1980s that rely only on current and projected levels of CO2 do a far better job of predicting global temperature development than later, more complicated ones. Climate scientists are aware of how difficult modeling is and that predictions must be approached with skepticism, but it is clear that nations must take collective action to combat climate change. Clauset's curve and the predictability of terrorist attacks. The frequency and severity of terrorist attacks follow a pattern known as Clauset's curve, making an attack on the scale of 9/11 predictable once every 80 years. Although the U.S. government had received several warning signals before the deadly attack, they had failed to recognize the possibility of such an event happening. However, Israel's successful approach towards preventing large-scale attacks while focusing on small-scale attacks as a mere crime can be emulated by other nations to negate the upper end of Clauset's curve.
In conclusion, Nate Silver's The Signal and the Noise highlights the pitfalls and challenges of making predictions, emphasizing the importance of adapting our approach to predicting future events and outcomes. By recognizing the complex, interconnected nature of real-world systems and acknowledging the role of uncertainty, it is possible to improve our forecasting abilities. The book suggests adopting the Bayesian approach to probability estimation and prioritizing human analysis in making sense of vast amounts of data. Being more open-minded and embracing a foxa mindset, considering multiple perspectives and sources of information, will ultimately increase our ability to make better predictions. To make a lasting impact, it is crucial not just to improve our individual forecasting talents, but also to implement measures that encourage collective action, such as learning from other nations' approaches to negating the risks of terrorism or climate change.